Hey nerds, Alex here from Nerds Being Geeks, and I cannot believe this dark Hitmon Bros deck is a real thing. Let's get into it. Before we get into the video, please consider subscribing to Nerds Being Geeks. Any support is much appreciated. We are coming up on 500 subscribers. I appreciate you guys watching, and let's get back to the video. My Locals has started to do a custom badge. They 3D print badges, they hand paint them for you, and they hand them out too when you win. The Trading Post in Temperance, Michigan knocked it out of the park again with the perfect fitting fighting badge. The Trading Post fighting badge happens to be a foot, which fits perfectly with the Hitmon Combo deck. This deck was brought to the forefront by Trickless Jimmy. Yes, that's his real name. Now, the Hitmon Bros combo has been around for a long time, but the addition of Team Rocket's Tyranitar really pushed this deck over the edge, and it is beginning to see a ton of play. I tried several times to win with the Hitmon Bros combo. I could never get it to work, but with the addition of Team Rocket's Tyranitar and over the last year the Okidogi, this has become a top tier deck. Fighting is on the map. So let's talk about some of these cards real quick if you do not know the Hitmon Bros combo. So the combo starts with Hitmonchan with a hit and run, 30 damage. You may switch this Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon. So then you bring up Hitmonlee for 1 energy. You got special combo. You can use this attack only if your Hitmonlee used hit and run during your last turn. This attack does 90 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. And then you finish it off with Hitmontop. Finishing combo. For 1 energy, you can use this attack only if your Hitmonlee used special combo during your last turn. The attack does 60 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Don't apply weakness or resistance for benched Pokemon. So it's a spread deck. It is a spread combo, and it can be wonky to get it out. You also have to worry about bench barrier, and that's why a lot of lists play like cards like Silent Lab. However, my local meta doesn't really play bench barriers, so you just got to punish them with the spread decks. So if you have Hitmonchan and you switch out and you don't have the Hitmonlee, this is where Team Rocket's Tyranitar comes in with the Sandstream ability. During Pokemon checkup, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you put 2 damage counters on each of your opponent's basic Pokemon. And let me tell you something, this thing did some work and I was quite surprised. But it has a really good middle stage as well. The Pupitar Explosive Ascension does 30 damage. Search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon, put it onto that Pokemon. So you can do the 30 damage and hit them with the Sandstream attack, or Sandstream ability I should say. It's a really cool combo with this. You have Hawlucha with the flying entry. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may choose 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon and put 1 damage counter on each of them. So what you kind of do with this is you hope you don't start it, and I did one match. You put it down, and then you put those damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon, and then you use Scoop Up Net, and then you do it again. And this really helps with the math. I'll get into my matchups, but you have 70 HP basics out there, evolving basics. Man, you put down Hawlucha, 70 just went to 60, and guess what? You can hit them with the Hitmontop and just knock out a bunch of those 60 HP guys. Really good card for this deck. If you start it, you might be in trouble. And of course, a staple in basically every fighting deck now is the Okidogi Power. If this Pokemon has any dark energy attached to it, it gets 100 more HP, it does 100 more damage. And you know, instead of trying to get 3 energies attached on Okidogi, you use cards like Unit Energy, which covers the darkness and the fighting. You know, use cards like Rainbow and Aurora, and those will cover the darkness. This deck does not play any darkness energy. Like most Okidogi decks, it does not play the darkness energy. And look at this bad boy, cosmic foil with the Pokemon Pikachu stamp. Beautiful. Now, Tricky Jim does play Tyrogue. I did not have a Tyrogue card, but I have Lily's Pokédoll, which can be a nice stand-in because it does not give up any prizes. And if you just need to get it out of the active, you just discard it. So it's not the Tyrogue that could, on a coin flip, deal damage and end your turn. But, you know, it was a nice filler for what we were doing with this deck. Nothing crazy with the items. I will say Big Air Balloon came in super handy. Gives free retreat to your stage 2 Pokemon. You attach it to your Team Rocket's Tyranitar and your Golden. We use Team Magma's Great Ball for the basic fighting energy search, which seems to be a pretty common thing for fighting Pokemon. When it comes to stadiums, I play this beautiful Brooklet Hill. Lets you search your deck for a water or fighting basic Pokemon. I also play this Tropical Beach. You don't see this card too often, but once during your turn, that player may draw cards until they have 7 cards in their hand. If they do, it ends their turn. And then Training Court to get that energy back. When it comes to tools, I get this Technical Machine De-Evolution, beautiful stamped Cosmic Hollow one I pulled. And I'll get into how this card gets used within the deck in a minute. Muscle Band. Boy, did this Muscle Band see some action, and it was game changing. U-turn board to help with that retreat, to kind of switch out some of the Hitmons without having to discard your energy. And Floatstone to, you know, get any of those Pokemon out. That covers the Bros, that covers the Tyranitar, Hawlucha. When it comes to the supporters, nothing crazy. You know, I played Tag Call, so I got Cynthia and Caitlin, Guzma Hala. Play Birdkeeper to switch out your Hitmons and get some draw power. Karina is a big one. Ball Guy, because we play so many. Arvin. Yeah. Oh, I mean, we even play Mallow and Lana, which helps with that Tag Call, and it kind of tank and heal your Dogi and your Tyranitar. So for basic energy, we play 1, 2, 3, 4. I know it's kind of crazy, but it doesn't take a lot of energy to power up the Hitmon Bros. It's 1 energy each. You're not attacking with Tyranitar. You're not attacking with Hawlucha. So, you know, you only need 1 energy for the Hitmon Bros each, and then 1 fighting, maybe, if you need it, for the Okidogi. Okay, so I want to talk about some of my matchups. My first matchup was against a Wailord deck, and that was all Team Rocket's Tyranitar. They got their whale, but they couldn't find any energy, and their bench was, you know, 3 deep, and they couldn't evolve them. For some reason, they could not find those either. So Tyranitar was just laying them down. That 20 damage between turns was just building up, building up, building up. And I got to use, with Tyranitar, the technical De-Evolution spray, and it worked like a charm. I got a knockout with it. Team Rocket's Tyranitar was MVP of the first match. Second match, I faced a Psychic deck, and I think they were pretty confident that they were going to win. However, that was actually all Hitmon Bros with an Okidogi finish. I was able to do what I said with the Halucha because they were doing the Lake Trio deck, and those guys are like 70, 80 HP. Halucha, scoop up net, Halucha again, placing those damage counters. I was able to pull off the Hitmon combo all the way through, and I was just board wiping their bench, and then they ran out of energy. They couldn't find anything, and I believe I just cleared the board, the rest of it, with Okidogi. My third matchup was against Dark, and I'll tell you who the real MVP of that match was, because I was hitting for weakness. I had this Hitmonchan for 30, another 20 with strong energy, and then another 20 with muscle band. So along with weakness, I was just knocking them down. Like, all of the darkness Pokemon were weak to fighting, and basically this right here is what took it. It just blew my mind how Swiss Army knife this deck can be. I mean, you can hit those big basic decks with the Tyranitar, you hit the spread with the Hitmons, and you also have a huge hitter in Okidogi. Like, this deck covers all types, any situation, and you can switch between your strategies on the fly because they don't take a lot of energy. Overall, this deck was incredible. I was so glad that I was able to build it and play it and win the fighting badge from the trading post in Temperance, Michigan. The hype for this deck is real. This isn't built 100% like Tricky Gyms, but it is pretty close. At least 55 to 58 of the same cards. I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know if you're building this deck or if you've come across it. It is the real deal. It is not a meme deck. It is so much fun to play. It's one of my favorite decks to play. It's like up there with Lost Zone Psychic. I love that deck too. And I will see you later.